Well,
Everyone's here.
okay, then, let us continue. So, one more thing that Thorbrand brings up towards the end of the council is if anyone has any ideas of how best to try and get Thorbrand back. Preferably in a way that puts Thorbrand into the city's debt deeply.
Does the naval base have helicopters?
It probably does, actually, but
Because there
in
was
fact,
one
it probably is. There's even a decent chance of some planes.
overwhelming assault.
Do you want to launch an overwhelming assault on the werewolf base?
Isn't
I
for something
think
Thorbrand might actually respect?
I don't give a fuck about them respecting us. I want them to stay the fuck out of my city.
Thorbrand might respect overwhelming force, and just showing that you have force might be a way for.
Except that a lot of people will die doing that.
think we might be able to try and leverage the diplomacy and semi-peaceful nature of things going on at the moment. Though we would need to be willing to back up any repercussions if they decided to back out from it.
Okay. What do you have in mind?
See about talking to them. Mention all the stuff about, people getting very antsy, especially with them still holding the hostage. Things might not go very well if things continue as it is. And if they resist, go into ways in which that might not go very well. The issue is they were supposed to contact us to continue negotiations, and they haven't done that for a while now.
Yeah, I think you should by now have a feel of what that means. They're not.
Exactly. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to go very well for them if they don't have some place in the city to really try and hold up. But I'd rather them stay there if I'm honest, because then we actually know where they're coming from. So it would be a bit of brinksmanship.
I'm tempted to try and steal a destroyer and shell that hole. But that's probably a bad
Good plan
idea.
B.
Wait.
Might be able to do it.
Ah, yes, but the masquerade, we can't really kinda have a just car on our face again.
It depends exactly how we go about it, but definitely an incident. I wouldn't rely on it. Prefer other options at the moment. We should be able to get some helicopters, especially from your side. That might be able to help handle things pretty well without causing too big of a deal.
What do you mean? From the police?
I'm not sure where they're storing them, whether it's on the army side or on the police side. I do know they were around during quarantine, though.
They were, but I don't know. I can get cops on the street to look the other way or close investigations. I'm not sure I can manage to misplace a helicopter for a day or two.
You just need
I
to
can maybe help out with
tell
that
them that
too
there's
if we
a
go that
giant
route.
mound of
Oh.
drugs or
But
weapons
yeah,
or whatever.
there should be a couple of ways we can go about this if we need to, but I think going with brinksmanship first of all will be our best chance. I would like to talk to them, but they haven't given any terms, so that makes it really tough.
Right. Well, I suppose it makes sense to try and communicate with them. At the very least, we can try and get some information. But we should discuss that in more private setting. I'm sorry to say, but while I trust you guys, I cannot take the chance that the werewolves might be able to torture it out of you. So the specific plans, I'm not always gonna share with you. Unless you need to know. Well, I suppose that's more or less everything we can agree on for the moment, so unless someone wishes to raise another issue. Not really much reaction for a moment, then Andy just meaningfully yes, of course, I have decided to grant embrace rights to two people in particular that have been of service to the city. The Ventral clan has requested permission to embrace the two servants of Alan that are currently mortals, if they should wish it, and in the future an additional mortal, once they have determined a likely candidate. I have decided to allow this given how horribly depleted the clan has become. And Mitchell, of course, has as well requested permission to take a child, and I have granted this.
What's the reactions around the table?
People are kind of giving weird looks at Andy getting so many embrace rights. Because effectively two now and another one later, that it makes sense because it brings their clan back up to at least numerical balance with the weaker clans, but it's still a fuck ton.
I'm almost tempted to fucking telepathy to see why.
I have no idea why the decision is this one, and I have no politics knowledge to understand what it means. So he should have done some nice stuff to deserve that.
Give me a perception empathy roll. And in fact, any of the players who wish to can do so.
I'll do so too.
I mean, I feel like I already understand why I was in his position. But hey, sure.
Just for those that feel like they want additional insight from the SD, it's if you understand what's going on, you don't need to worry about it.
With five Oscars,
I'll help
it's
everyone
down
out.
to 4, right?
Gonna say that the base is 7, so Epic should
5.
roll at 4.
Okay.
Roll at 6.
Wow. Okay.
Do you have a specialty with that, Demi?
Perception is attentive, and empathy is emotions.
Emotions definitely counts here. So, I will say it's harder for you to tell, but it's... You don't think this is politics. They might actually be kind of friends, or at least respect each other a great deal. And Demi, yeah, it looks like Andy has somehow managed to get the prince's respect in however small a measure. And yeah, Vivian, you can pretty much read the whole thing. Like, the immediate cause and a lot of the driving force is the mutual respect there, because Kurt sees an opportunity to build an alliance there that will last by not taking advantage and actually extending a hand. And also there is the fact that those two ghouls were ghouls for an extended time and they're good fighters. And having Ventru with skills like that, it's also, gives him a very easy out to do what he really wants to do, which is to help a person he likes by saying that it, serves the city.
And of course, there are the overtones of why he decided to go with a mass amount of embraces instead of letting them come in with a bunch of new people.
Well, yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, there is also that, yes. And at this point, no one who has been in the city for more than a couple of weeks thinks Mitchell is actually a Ventro, especially with him now leading the independence. He's as good as admitted what he is.
Like, this is somewhat dangerous for him, actually, and a big reason why he's going to have to bring the independents together. I'm very happy with his situation. He's being forced to make the city better. I'm very happy.
Okay. Demi, give me a luck roll for the likelihood of Mitchell being related to Linda or any of the La Sombra from Houston.
Likely luck then, or just luck?
Just straight luck. Nope. He's really not. Okay then. So that's the meeting.
At the end of the meeting, as everyone's getting ready and everything to see about going, I'm going to go and try and talk to Thorbrand. Not Thorbrand, fuck. You got me doing it now. Talk to Kurt just really quick. I do control where Sighard lived. Should we get William to see about agreeing to have Michelle take the area?
Well, I'm gonna need residents. I was thinking that it... Oh, but I have the new place already. The domain itself is... pretty impressive. Honestly, I think I'm gonna take it for myself, and the place I could acquire for myself we can give to Michelle, and that will... it's not quite as nice, but it's still a significant improvement of over living in the Chantry.
Okay.
And it makes for better appearances.
From my general understanding of how the Tremere work, William is going to have to grant her permission to live there. If that is the case.
I mean,
Should we see about getting him?
I mean, Michelle has been with him for a long time. I'm not sure exactly how their pecking system works, but I think by that point they're usually expected to be allowed to live outside. And uh, I, I mean, I'll tell her to come to us
If there's issues, probably the
yeah,
best way to do it.
yeah, because William promised to be a team player. It's best not to crowd him. He
All
might
right, then.
decide to lash out. His habits of centuries. Best to handle him carefully.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good to me. And then the meeting ended.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which of you players are below your current maximum, or your current humanity resting point, I should say?
-1, right?
Yeah,
The resting point is -1 from max, right?
yeah. From what would be the max for neonate.
Yeah. I started with 8. I'm at 7.
Yeah.
So
So you're
I'm
one
guessing
below that.
I am not. Yeah. Oh, I am one below. Okay.
Yeah. It's your normal max is 9, and -1 is 8.
That is true.
So, those of you who are below your current max, and I know Jacklord for sure is, as is Epic, roll your conscience at 8 for passive regain during downtime. You get one free
Passive
roll.
regain. I'm at 8 again.
It's not having to make the hard
Nice.
decisions.
Yeah, I'm below.
Demi, what about you?
I'm at humanity 6 and my conscious self-control is 7. So I'm good.
I think that means you're at your resting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm at 5.
I think Gregory is below his.
I do believe Gregory is below.
So, Gregory and Jackalor, give me your conscience at 8 to regain 1 point of humanity. I think Gregory might have already left to eat. Lambert, that is.
Possibly.
Jackalor? He said he was gonna step away.
Now that I see.
Jackalor, are you muted and being a bad?
Oh, wow. That's a while ago, but I don't think so because he was here earlier, right? He said be right back nearly an hour ago, but
Yeah,
I
no, he
know
was
I've heard
back
him
since
before.
then. Jackalor? Okay. He's
God.
not there. But, Vivian, a couple of days before the Just Cars show up, Walda is actually gonna infiltrate the tower obfuscated, and is gonna show up teary-eyed in your office, bloody tears running down her face.
What's wrong?
I'm so sorry. I tried not to say anything. It's just listen, you. I just couldn't say nothing. It's just they just. She holds out a crumpled piece of paper, hand shaking.
I'm gonna make sure to be giving her a hug while I'm looking at it. What's going on? What's wrong?
It's another copy of a similar letter accusing you of infernalism. From Florin. Like the one Kurt got.
Shit. That messes up with my plans.
What the fuck?
I didn't know what to do.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm not doing anything with infernalism, at least that I know of. I don't know how that stuff works, so... Don't worry, it's fine.
They told me not to say. They're gonna be coming for you. You need to do something.
I'm not going to do anything. If they need to run some tests, and I would prefer it if they did, and they find something, then I guess something did happen. But as far as I know, I should be fine. Don't worry, it's okay. And if it's not okay, it's very not okay. I don't want to be that way.
Okay. So there's a touching moment where Waldo betrays the Camarilla for you.
I make sure she's okay, goes back where she's going, and quietly wait for whenever they come. Just going about my business as usual.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple of days before they arrive, and for a perceptive person, you notice that this time there's at least 3 or 4 armed ghouls down there, just in case you try to jump out of the window.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure Vivian will actually live through that impact, even as a vampire.
Yeah, but they are making sure, just in case. And yeah, they are effectively gonna give you a chance to inform the new prince, who is settling into Sicard's digs.
Yep.
And,
Tell them, if it's okay, in fact, I will even tell him about it beforehand, that I had gotten wind of, them coming to interrogate me about being a possible infernalist. Might be gone soon, for at least a while.
mhm.
Hopefully not forever? Question mark?
He doesn't give an indication that he knew about this, but you're pretty sure he knew about this.
Ah, it was said to everyone she knew. Ah, that's fine, whatever.
And yeah, you're gonna have a few rather unpleasant nights, which are probably gonna be in a blur for you, because they, honestly, good chance that they just mind wipe it out of you to make sure that that kind of information
Can't find out?
Yeah, so there's less information floating around as to what they use to test you.
Yep.
So it's just, this blank spot in your memory filled with a vague unease.
Okay. Don't worry, it was easy for them.
Suspiciously easy.
Yeah, totally suspiciously easy. Had nothing to do with how susceptible she is to that already.
Justicar makes a note. Not sure if best liar I have ever seen, or just completely retarded.
Funnily enough, might be both. Okay. And when they are all done with doing the tests and give her a clear of some kind to go, she's going to ask if she can maybe see about giving some advice about the situation.
Okay. I know what you want to say, but reiterate for the players.
Vivian is going to see about asking if they can see about taking a light touch with Florin, as she had not taken any particular action in which endangered the city itself, but was particularly all about Halfdan. And to hopefully have Halfdan work as a decent bridge of some kind. As far as Vivian knows, she never actually engaged in anything either.
So they're essentially
She's making it clear this is advice and not something that she is like demanding they do or anything, but
Yeah.
it is going to borderline be begging them to try and take this kind of course of action.
Demi, you earned yourself a bad till next week.
Motherfucker!
You will learn, and you will thank me eventually.
No, I really won't.
Okay, so when you say that they're gonna start listing off Florence sins, masquerade breach on the street with Halfdan, rampaging through the city in apocalyptical form, getting a couple of elders killed or nearly killed, trying to attack the sheriff, trying to convince the sheriff to sign the pact. That bit you didn't know about, but apparently
Wait,
Kurt told
what?
them. Yeah, she...
Vivian didn't know about that at all.
Yeah, they don't go into details if you ask. They just note that you didn't know.
That's fine. That really shocked Vivian. She actually would just straight up say, "What? Wait, she what?"
She only refuses to do it with people she likes or respects.
Well, there's going my dot of contact. Okay. Well, with that part particularly, Vivian actually felt she could defend her without, if she hadn't tried to make any pacts in the city, but she apparently tried to make pacts in the city. Forgive me. I hadn't been aware she was trying to do anything of that manner.
You're gonna have to endure
rest?
about 2 hours of lecturing on how insidiously seductive and deceptive demons can be.
Alright. Yeah, Vivian will accept what's going down then. She might make a mild effort at trying to get Halfdan to just stay alive, but in that she doesn't expect it to work.
Yeah, no.
She doesn't actually know if he's been corrupted or not either.
Yeah, that's
So I don't know if you want to roll for maybe that or not.
no.
She's not
you,
gonna really try too hard.
with backing off and
so.
apologizing, you don't have to roll it.
Okay.
It's fine. They just write it off as you being you and underline retarded.
You know, if they want to say retarded, can't they at least put it better? Very humane. Want people to live. Preferably nice and optimistic.
Differently
I mean, it's still
abled.
retarded in the world of darkness. but
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
they underline it again. Naive expectations. Out of touch with reality of how people function. Malkavian, all caps.
Malkavian. Yep, alright. Yep, that's how that ended up going. I didn't know they would actually mention to her the other things that she did.
I mean, they assumed you knew because apparently you have made a close alliance with Kurt.
Kurt didn't mention it to me.
Yeah. That's, They would mention that there were several people who were very eager to speak on your behalf of the people that were in the know. And, were, vehemently denying that you would ever sign up for anything like this. Kurt among them.
It's good to know. Apparently, I got real backers. Yay!
Yeah, it's part of why they were so civilized about this, because apparently, barring 1 or 2 actual rivals, the city was willing to stand by you. from those people that knew.
Okay. Well, Vivian is gonna come back from her questioning. She's gonna be very disappointed in Florin. Damn it, Florin. We're not friends anymore.
Friendship with Florin ended. Ashmet is my new best friend.
I met this guy today. Name's Ashton. He's very interesting. Let me go down, remove the demon as a contact, and sorry, Debbie, Halfdan's definitely dying.
So that's one less gangrel fuck up. The cleansing continues. Wow, no
All
reaction
right.
on that. Surprising.
What did you want?
Well, at least a fuck you from him. Honestly.
I know. Debbie, you're disappointing us.
What? I wasn't even listening.
Okay. When you come back, a couple days after that probably, the gargoyle's gonna visit you. The real gargoyle, not Sledge.
Ah, hey, Ambrose.
Why did you
Rosa.
let them kill him?
There wasn't much letting in the situation.
He was mine. How could you?
Yes. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Who did? Who did it?
Everyone he attacked? He was in a frenzy. Right after being announced as blood hunted by the new prince.
Who's the new prince?
Don't go redirecting your anger. It was no one's fault. He frenzied. He died. Happens to a lot of vampires.
Ambrose flips your table. It crashes against the wall.
Is it an expensive table?
I mean,
I
it's
don't think it would be. It's replaced all the time.
It's nice, but it won't bankrupt you.
It would be pretty hard, yes, but Ambrose.
Dougal rushes in at this point, sword drawn.
Dougal, go back. Friend's just throwing another fit. Don't worry about it.
Ambrose just screeches in gargoyle at Dougal. Dougal, half a second taken aback, and then just rees back in Scottish, like, brandishing the Claymore.
Ambrose, come on. You need to calm down.
You let them
Dougal,
kill him.
you need to calm down too. I don't want any more deaths. I have too many friends dying these days.
Ambrose launches himself into the night, doesn't bother opening the window again. Doesn't say anything more, just leaves. Also, there's a hole
You're
there
welcome
now.
back whenever you want. Oh, I need another fucking window again.
Well,
There you go. Help me set this table back up.
just think he has 6 effective strength. He is able to just sheath his sword and just on his own just casually pick it up and just pull it into place.
Thanks, Dougal. Vivian starts picking up the papers and phone and stuff.
Phone is smashed.
Damn it. Need a new one. At least those are fairly... Yeah, they're fairly cheap, I believe, these days. Not very expensive. Especially if I don't need to do wiring, so... Sweet.
Dougal's gonna stay in the room from now on. Fuck that
Dougal's
shit.
not staying in the room from now on.
Dougal's definitely staying in the room
Dougal
from
is
now
getting
on.
new sword. Dougal is getting new sword. Dougal is getting Masterwork sword. Yay.
Yeah, no, the Sigurd sword is gonna go to Dougal.
Wait, the new one that burns?
Yes. Yes.
Kurt is gonna protect his assets. And Vivian, eye in the sky. She needs to stay alive. So Dougal gets the sword. So now when Dougal charges at someone, it's with fire.
Dougal needs to die.
All right. Is there anything else to cover?
I don't think so. Demi, what about you? You're running the Elysium.
I don't think I need to literally talk to anybody right now.
Okay. Probably Kurt has claimed like a neighborhood or half of a neighborhood. Somewhere appropriate. And yeah, then there is... What kind of a message do you wish to send to the werewolves to try and get Thorbrand out?
I think it's going to basically end up with a similar thing to when we initially opened up. So we're going to end up doing it somewhat face to face. You know, send our respective messengers. One me, the other whoever the werewolves send.
Okay. You're gonna have a chance to meet Bends the Rules face to face then.
Besides that, if it's okay to just kind of hurry this along, we do need to get to downtime.
Really? Yes.
Basically, just go over, you know, that a lot of the vampires are getting very antsy about, you know, the werewolves holding a hostage as well as the activity lately. Some are even advocating a possible preemptive strike before more can gather. I would much prefer a much more peaceful resolution. See if they have any kind of terms that they would be willing to go for, or if we need to just go much further than any of us really want it to at the
Well,
moment.
he's gonna tell you just casually that he wants the cairn. He doesn't want the city, he doesn't even want to exterminate the leeches here. He wants the cairn and the one who stole it, if that one still lives.
The one who stole it is definitely not giving it up. The best I can offer on that situation would be to see about getting the rest of us not to interfere with anything while you are attacking in that case. But if we're going to have any kind of talks, we're going to need the hostage back.
By all counts, he is a exceptional warrior. Why should we give him back? It seems like a bad deal when all you're offering is vague assurances of a leech's good faith, which, in our experience, aren't worth much.
May not be in your experience, but as many I have talked to can account for, I have yet to break my word when given, and I never have backed down from more peaceful solutions to issues. This would be far preferable, for me especially, than having a great deal of violence being dealt with my kind.
We will return him if he will swear an oath to take no part in the coming conflict.
If those were your terms, I would wish for his oath to include a clause for self-defense so that if the conflict infringed on his territory, that he would be liable
We
to at
are
least
aware of
go
his
against
territory, yes. That can certainly be a clause. No one would expect him to not defend himself. But he stays out of it, short of his little domain, and he does not use it as a refuge for forces engaged in the fighting. He's Switzerland in this.
I will leave that up to him, if those are your terms. If he denies it, we can see about talking further about anything else. Is that
Beyond
acceptable?
That is something I can agree to, for the moment. There is also the long overdue matter of investigating that factory of yours.
As I mentioned, we are willing to let you investigate the factory whenever, although I didn't know you were going over both of these different groups. Good to know. The only part is that you will be escorted with some amount of silver-equipped escorts to ensure that you don't just suddenly start going crazy in there. We will
Alright.
gladly try and take care of any corruption or infringement, especially if you would be willing to tell us how to go about such a thing.
Alright. But any escorts you have armed with silver will be no greater in number than the number of people doing the investigation.
I think that's fine.
Alright then. But I have seen this store brand of yours in action. And I can tell you in all honesty, we will not release him if it means that he will be fighting against us the moment he's free.
I mean, I hope that we can discuss these things so that it will not come to such a matter, but if that is what it takes to get him out, then that is probably for the best.
Certainly not what Kurt wants.
I know it's definitely not what Kurt wants. The thing is, I actually really doubt he'll be getting out of there without force otherwise.
Yeah, I know. It's a fun situation.
I was actually really thinking we might just have to bomb the place. Or he just gets out. Either way. To be fair, he still has a pretty good chance of just getting out if he really wants to. But that's up to him. So I'm just leaving it as
well,
in
you
his
literally
hands.
told him to wait to be rescued, and he's given his word that when he's taken outside the cairn for his little walks, he won't try to fuck them over and try and escape.
I figure he's a man of his word, so it's up to him if those terms are acceptable, is what I'm saying. Which I think they probably are.
given how much time has passed and that probably at least the elders for the War Council are gathered, if no other packs, he's gonna realize that the time to make a break for it on his own is past and agree to it. Because it's one thing to fight off, 6 mid-ranking wolves, which aren't all even there when he starts running. It's another to have 6 or 7 elders on site.
Yes, definitely. Part of why I didn't really want to do anything, because anything we did was actually liable to have him in the crossfire too. Kind of eliminating the purpose.
Yeah. So yeah, the inspection will happen. It's probably gonna be a couple of the kid wolves escorted by. Honestly, it's gonna be the Glasswalkers pack, and it's probably gonna be one of the elders leading them in case it turns into fight, while the other one is just sending spirits to make sure there are no hidden people lying in ambush from a distance.
Yep. I think Vivian will go along as well, but she won't have silver.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's
She'd be pretty curious to try and identify what the corruption and stuff is. She knows it exists from, fucking with the minds of those assholes, but she doesn't really understand it.
It's probably gonna be a few weeks while they track down all the things that could be improved. But it turns out there aren't any, supernaturally corrupting forces there, which is what they were worried about. So they know that you are not doing it deliberately. And other than that, they just identify things and track down things that are either some of your subcontractors are dumping things out into the woods, or there's a leak in one of the pipes somewhere, things like that.
Yep. Sadly, I'm not sure. I'm not too good on what the, everything goes into the whole manufacturing on this kind of level for gunmanship. So I have no idea what kind of corruption would be going on.
Yeah, you have to roll Rotrick a few times and end up tackled by werewolves at least once.
Don't worry, I'm very easy. Oops, I have a broken leg.
Because funnily enough, when you have an electric furnace that melts steel and then folds it into gun barrels or something, it's, kind of hot.
Yep. Funnily enough, a lot of this actually wouldn't be very much in the ways of corruption, at least not as far as Worm. Weaver would be a lot worse, but...
Yeah. There's a few disapproving glances at the Glasswalkers who go, ooh, yes, I know of this technique. I've heard about it.
Ever hear of barreling? Here, we take this and go zzz.
Okay. Jackalor, Lambert, are you back? For fuck's sake.
They died. They both
Jackler
died.
might still have problems with his microphone, maybe.
He didn't mention it anywhere.
He did.
Or did he mention a problem with his stuff?
Jackalor, you definitely have a problem with your mic. We can't hear you.
Forever.
Let's try this. And when they rejoin, we'll know that they can actually hear and are back here.
Wow, that's ingenious.
I know. So, Demi, let's start looking at our first set of downtime action. So,
Wow, finally.
I know. Let us start with the fun stuff. Give me a 1d50.
Oof.
What happens in the first couple months?
Wait. I want to pick out a favorite number first. What's the number I'm looking for? I'm looking for 19, baby.
Okay. This is a financial opportunity.
That's actually perfect considering what I wanted for my first downtime action.
Well, if you remember, we then roll to see who gets hit by it.
And it's the fucking Nosferatu.
Must be. They need it.
So,
Also, up my resources to 6.
What?
you are gonna have to maintain those, and given the recent riots, it's gonna require more successes per dot of resource to maintain them. Because a lot of things have to be rebuilt
Yep, I'm just
or
noting.
investors reattracted, etc. But yeah,
This is when you mentioned to do it, so
yeah.
I got it.
So first of all, each of you roll off 1d10.
So, what you're saying is, roll
It's-
luck.
What did I fucking say?
Yes!
Re-
It is the Nosferatu!
Oh.
Okay, that's for Jackalord. This is for Lambert. Bacon, your clan, digging in the city and exploring the swamp, and in the nearby coastline find the broken remnants of a ship. Give me a 1d10 for magnitude.
Fairly
Okay.
decent.
It's only part of a ship. It looks like currents might have taken part of it elsewhere, but it looks like inside is a couple of chests which, although partially broken, still have a fair bit of gold and gems in them. Some of them reeking of faint traces of demonic corruption to you. Almost as if this was someone's secret stash that was offered to an elder to, serve them.
Oh my fuck.
Okay.
I'm unsure if you want to take that.
I will take it. I mean, it's gold, and I will look around for more pieces of the ship and anything else that is remaining.
Can't really find any more. But you have these.
Okay,
So-
so money. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's not a lot of corruption, right? It's just traces.
Maybe the corrupted stuff I can trade with the Tremere for them to study.
No. Maybe don't.
No, I would just sell it.
By the way, Demi, 19 was Allied City needs help.
City needs help or Houston needs help?
I mean, it would
Like,
be
Allied
Houston.
City.
Take a fucking
Yeah.
guess.
Motherfucker!
Okay, so how much resources do I get?
Or maybe if you sell it well, it's like on the edge between 3 and 4. It's gonna depend a lot on how well you can actually turn it into money.
Want him
I
to
will
try and
note.
roll some to see how well he can do?
Well, that would probably be a downtime action to turn this, like, treat it as a maintenance thing and treat it as acquiring businesses with the cash.
Ah, okay.
But you can
Alright.
currently note it down as, actually, you had a bit of resource on your own.
Yeah, I have 1 dot.
So, let's say that effectively this counts as resources 4 for the moment, but unless you actually do the maintenance action on it, it's gonna decay and become
Okay.
a 3.
Hey, now I have money. Thank you, Demi.
Are you gonna share any of this with the clan?
Just let me check something. Written it somewhere. But yeah, the money will go most of it to the clan. I don't see any need to have it.
Hmm.
To be fair, Nosferatu generally don't need it too often, so
Frederick is gonna tell you that he knows a little bit about managing money. He learned about that shit in school. So he,
I will.
knows how to do proper accounting and what paperwork you need to acquire businesses, etc. Stuff like that.
I will say that he's allowed to manage the money.
So you're gonna dump it on him. You're the money guy.
Yeah,
that poor guy. That Nosferatu is pulling
I
all the
just-
weight with his tiny amount.
whenever you need any help, just call the rest of the clan and we can help with anything.
Okay, I'm just gonna take up Michelle's Dominate to 3 because have it apply some leadership to this shit. Other than that, maybe Auspex 5. Yeah. That makes sense. Anything else I want her to have? Empathy for reading people up to 3. There, Sheriff is 101 XP. Person.
Not bad.
Okay. Close that. So, yeah, Jackalor is just not there.
Dead.
And
Jesus.
Lambert is not there. Both disappeared.
I wonder what happened.
Okay, so, gentlemen, your first downtime actions. Demi,
Haha.
with
I want to
resources,
maintain.
by the way, effectively you're gonna need 2 successes per level to maintain it properly, but you get like
Pretty sure we said we'd get a maintenance roll and a
I know.
general
I remember
roll.
about 1 maintenance roll being free. I know that part. Okay, as long as you are, as long as your ghouls aren't in a position where you need to super manage them, we could say that each ghoul can maintain about 1 or 2 successes worth of backgrounds, depending on how well suited they are for the task. So that the people who have retainers could help. Or their retainers could help, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, that might end up being unbalanced with everyone trying to get a fuck ton of ghouls.
Let's just do it as we were doing before and just apply things that make sense.
Still like a difficulty reduction for ghouls.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds about
If the ghouls help, they help. If not, whatever.
Okay. So, Demi, what was the first thing you wanted to do?
Maintain resources.
Okay. Excellent. Well, you get 1 passive roll for just having your people do it for you, whoever you have hired to do it. So that's probably... Well, what do you think is appropriate for a passive roll and for having set things up in a safe way? Demi, for your character.
Finance?
Could be intelligence,
Either-
finance.
Either intelligence or charisma, really either or.
Okay, so let's go with intelligence, finance. And we said the base was 15, right?
Yeah.
Base 15, decrease by anything that we can find applicable.
You know, since this is a passive roll, we're gonna say that this one is like at a flat 6. Because it's not you doing it, it's your people doing it automatically. So it's kind of like a luck thing to see how well that's doing.
Okay. Whew,
Go on,
first
go with
roll,
it.
let's go. 7 dice at difficulty 6.
So
If you wish to retain the dot, I think we agreed you'll have to now take your downtime action trying to do it yourself.
yeah. If you
I
fall
was
short of maintaining the whole thing, you're risking a decay of 1 dot.
Yeah, no, I'm planning to do it myself anyways.
Okay. Well. So for this, what would you use? What do you think is appropriate?
For that was passive, I think personally would be charisma in terms of me talking to bitches.
Okay.
Now we'll start at 15, start decreasing as we got stuff.
Yeah.
What you got?
I got manipulation, wits, intelligence, perception, expression.
Mostly talking in terms of
Did I
disciplines
slap
and
him?
backgrounds.
You've done this before. You know what I'm talking.
It was months and months ago. So, okay, Demi. What is the idea to, like, what would be your managing your resource style? I take it from your pick of attribute. You're trying to manage people. In what way are you trying to manage the people involved?
I feel like it'd be a lot of honey talking into, just basically good deals, good here, blah, blah, that sort of thing.
Okay. So, okay, so you're the sly fox. I think that's manipulation subterfuge.
Okay, then.
And Auspex 5 definitely fully applies. Presence and Dominate, I would say as well. So you're already hitting difficulty 3.
But do remember that we actually have it when it hits lower than difficulty 3. I think it goes up in magnitude with how well you can do.
I don't remember, then let's not go with that, because even with a fuck ton of powers, there's a limit of how far you can push things, because it needs time for wheels to turn in the mortal world.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyways,
yeah, that's true.
we're doing the same thing with willpower, right? We basically have 6 dots that we can sort of, use out.
You have your full set and you can use it throughout the downtime actions, yes.
Since this is resources and I like money's nice, I'm going to spend willpower 1 for here. So, 8 dice difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
8 successes.
Total of 8.
Okay.
And I have 4 resources. I think I perfectly managed all of it.
Yep. It doesn't increase or work towards increasing yet, but it's definitely stable. So, what shape do your resources take? Personally, I would suggest like a string of restaurants and clubs along the French Quarter.
It probably is trying to do that. Basically, order stuff in the nice cultural places.
Okay. So, Bacon. What about your first downtime action?
Yeah, I'm going to immediately deal with the money that I just got. Try to sell the gold and the gems and manage a good resource for the clan.
Okay. So, you have Frederick to help with the financing and accounting to make sure you don't get screwed. What kind of approach would you like to use? And what would you like to acquire? Provided you're investing it.
Investment. Yeah, I think the investment would be in the area that the Nosferatu needs control in the infrastructure. So I suppose that the water and electricity are run by private companies and stuff like that.
Ah,
Not usually, but
No,
I don't think so.
mixed companies like state company with open capital.
Generally, that's more how it works. Yeah, they're usually connected to the state.
so effectively, you could do that, but it's probably gonna be heavily regulated because it's a utility. So you're gonna have a tough time really using that to grow, but it's gonna be pretty stable.
The objective is not to grow, just keep it constant and stable.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna say the maintenance is gonna be slightly easier for you at 1.5 successes per dot, but growing is gonna be twice as hard using this as a base.
Okay. And to acquire it, let's see. Yeah, what would I roll in this case?
Yes, you're not really built for this, are you?
No. Can I roll Dexcraft? I'm crafting my standing in the corporate world.
I don't think that's how that will work.
Are you sure?
I will let you use. I will let you use manipulation crafts with the understanding that you are effectively taking damage to various things to try and get the current investors to sell more cheaply, and then after the fact trying to make it look like the damage wasn't that bad after all.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
But if you fail or botch this, gods forbid, this is gonna be a masquerade problem.
Oof.
Yep. Will PowerPoint.
Okay.
If you want to.
Your obfuscate and your auspex both help, and so do your contacts, because they can advise you on how to make it look good. Given that Nosferatu in other cities have probably done this before. So I think that goes down to a 5 for you.
Nice.
That is enough. Okay. You now own a percentage of the city's utilities. And Epic.
I am going to go with increasing the easiest thing I got. Going to see about maintaining and getting more allies.
Mm-hmm.
I need more of those. They decreased significantly.
Okay. Okay. Important point of note. All of you have titles of some kind at this point, except Lambert. So you will need to use at least one action to effectively carry out your duties. So try and plan that in.
Yep, I know.
In terms
I don't know
of,
the total amount of downtime we got, but I
you'll
factored it.
get you'll get 12 like before.
Ah, okay.
So Allies, this is gonna be an interesting one because you have a group place for shit to remember, right? So,
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna ask it this way. Is it a case of allies for yourself personally? And by the way, if you can definitely add Kurt to your allies, given the events.
Oh, wasn't mentioned. All right, there we go. Two
Yeah.
allies.
But, and Kurt, you're effectively gonna be maintaining anyway by doing your job, so you can just apply success from that role to this.
All right.
But, yeah, there are...
Maybe I'll just do that as.
So yeah, here's the thing. You can have allies for yourself, or you can try and diplomacy allies for the city against the wolves or in general, that kind of thing. Try and build ties on behalf of the city.
All right. I mean, yeah, I'll just include that as part of stuff.
Okay, so what do you wish to do specifically for the first one?
I want to see about getting my personal allies up,
Okay.
hopefully to try and help get some other maintenance stuff lower and stuff.
So what kind of allies are you looking for? Effectively, supernatural beings, vampires, and otherwise in the city, I take it?
I actually was good if there is going to be a differentiation. A bit of a small mix. Initially supernatural allies, but my later dots are probably going to be more along the human side.
Mm-hmm. Well, effectively, if you have a large enough allies pool for what might be considered, minor matters or getting things to people that can help you, especially given the amount of your resources, you would be able to roll probably your contacts rating for minor aid. So you wouldn't need to have humans for every single little thing. Allies are for major forces that are on your side.
Almost certainly supernaturals, then, in that case. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, and you're specifically thinking about things that will help with your backgrounds.
Generally, people that can help me out with those.
Okay.
Starting to get a lot.
All right,
Which probably means like a couple of the independents and stuff, actually, and other people that are doing that kind of stuff.
Actually, now that I think about it, Jimmy should probably count as one as well, because Factory is effectively now your joint venture. And you haven't screwed him, and you got the werewolf problem to not be a problem.
Yay! I got Jimmy too. All right. Well, what's the maintenance role for it?
I think charisma leadership, probably.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume
and I figure that's the passive one, right? So.
Do you want to use the passive one for maintaining alliances, etc.?
I was going to use a downtime regardless. How much does that matter?
Well, the passive role is effectively for things that are happening on their own and the people you've picked. So I would let you use like charisma leadership to manage the company. But because that's the largest one, it makes most sense, and that's at a flat difficulty. But it's kind of up to you.
Yep. You know what? How about just this? Will it make it easier getting more dots if I do the passive as well? Think that makes sense?
I mean,
Not like easier, it's just less successes needed because some of it's not going to maintaining it.
Sure, I guess, but I don't know. It seems to me that mathematically you're saving more successes by focusing on the bigger backgrounds with the passive maintenance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
By the way, if two of you can think of other backgrounds which you in effect have earned, but which haven't been applied to either of you, let me know. Demi's probably earned at least 1 point of clan status by now, by the way, so, you know.
Okay, I'll add that then.
Yeah.
Yep. I just figure, by the way, clan status for Malkavian doesn't matter. That's kind of what I just figure. So
It matters. It's just that in a way you are unpredictable even to your own kind.
I know, right?
So they know you by reputation. Effectively, they know you more about being a decent person than as being a friend of Clan Malkavian specifically.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
in that case, I suppose that I will see about maintaining contacts at the moment then.
Okay.
And then put my downtime action towards allies unless that contacts ends up fucking up.
Okay. I think with contacts it's probably gonna be about manipulation subterfuge, because you're trying to come up with reasons why you're an aging little girl and staying in contact with people. And
Yep. Most of the contacts currently are supernatural, but
well, you're also maintaining a
definitely good at
passive
deducing
contacts
others.
rating.
Yes, that's what I was actually saying. It makes sense for the passive part. A lot of sense for the
And
passive part.
I will raise difficulty to 7 because you are a child, and that is gonna get in the way with this in a significant way.
Okay, manipulation, subterfuge.
Yeah.
Base difficulty 7. See how well it goes. And because it's passive, nothing really affects it, just this baseline.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I'm good.
Okay. That's
Contacts are maintained. I think the passive shouldn't really apply any extra successes. It's just a passive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Let's go with that.
It's just things are
yeah.
good. They're going well.
They're not bad. So, Lambert.
Well,
we've moved on to
Wait,
taking.
let's finish my. Oh, sorry, you're explaining. I didn't understand. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Never mind.
Well, we can explain with an example. So we're taking downtime actions. You get 1 for free for maintaining something along the lines of, effectively it's a case of having things that run themselves to some extent, like businesses that you've just invested in that don't need your attention. And that's generally going to be a flat roll at 6 of something appropriate, and it's going to apply towards keeping your house in order so you don't have to waste actions on dealing with that.
Oh, good.
And after that, it's just, there's going to be a total of 12 downtime actions. Each covers about 3-ish months of in-game time worth of effort. And they're the stuff that you use to generally set up and grow, and in some cases maintain your little empire.
All the people hiding in the fucking chantry, as we call them.
I mean, that it's just a bunch of zombies marching back and forth armed with silver.
I mean, they still breathe.
Sort of. So, Epic, you wanted to look in on maintaining the allies and trying to grow them.
Yep, actually, that was maintaining contacts.
Yeah,
My
that was
downtime is going to include
yes,
the
yes.
allies. Yeah,
That's what I meant. The downtime is aimed at allies specifically.
correct. I have a lot.
Okay,
I think it's difficulty 3.
well, let's. Given that this is gonna include. Yeah, it would be difficulty 3. So, this would be something given all the different types included that would probably aim towards charisma etiquette.
Could be, yeah. Quick question, actually, because it's the weirdest power I have that would affect pretty commonly.
It wouldn't. It would
Uh,
give an additional -1, much like clairvoyance. So you have -7 from
just an additional
aspects.
-1.
Yeah. We
Alright.
we kind of abstract the weird effects and say that, it just makes things
Okay.
progressively easier. The more toolbox you have in your toolbox.
I was actually just gonna check. Alright. Doesn't help as much as I wanted then. Sadness. Oh well.
Yeah.
Manipulation, etiquette, difficulty 3.
Charisma etiquette, because I assume you are trying to
I
build
would do
actual
charisma, if possible.
Yeah,
Yes, I like getting along.
you've made plenty of excuses in how you roleplay her to make that reasonable. So it should be at that 3 with all the bonuses you have. So the way that works, Lambert, is that it's a base of 15, and you can take more time to lower it further. But normally it's a base of 15, reduced by any backgrounds and disciplines you have. That would make it easier, that give you supernatural aid or more access or more whatever. So in making allies, Vivian is essentially leveraging her fancy powers to help do people favors and establish ties that are useful.
And I believe that was a total of 3 additional dots.
It would be 2 additional because you also have to maintain.
-3, total of 6 left over. Did
It's
eloquent
3.
or inoffensive apply? Oh wait, no. It's 3 per dot, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
right. Yes,
it
2.
is.
My bad.
So
All right.
I think with the way this works, it's gonna be a tentative alliance with one of them, because effectively you've learned that the technocracy can burn you, but they're also interested in making sure, now that they have noticed how much control over the media you exerted, to not allow that to be abused. So coordinating with them and making sure that they're not gonna try and sabotage you before actually doing it is gonna make it easier for them to not end up in a situation where they're gonna actively try to screw you, effectively. And they're gonna be happy not to have to expend effort and be able to just warn you off. And I think the other one is probably gonna be, I don't know, I think the changelings make some sense, but it might as well be one of the other independents. Camille already has a contact, and she's not really the ally type. Let me check through who might be appropriate. I think if you're looking specifically for someone to help you with backgrounds, it's probably not gonna be any of the locals, because you can generally get them to help you anyway, and for an elder of your standing, they're far enough below you that they don't count as a full-blown major ally anyway. So it'd probably be the Baron. And as far as the Baron is concerned, they do have interests, and they do dabble in the criminal world. And by dabble, I mean that They would like to think that the criminal stuff in the northern part of the town is theirs, and please don't fuck with it.
Don't worry, we're not interested in that. We're Mafgavians.
Yeah, and you being able to keep the media away from noticing certain discrepancies, for example, or having a line on someone who controls the police, could be useful. On the other hand, they can... Well, let me check specifically what they have. What do you control? Well, they do have contacts of their own. Among some of them, they have sources, and they also have... They're willing to consult you on things like their occult libraries. They won't necessarily give you access, but they have a significant library that's comparable to what is available to Jackalore. And they're willing to look through it on your behalf and inform you if they find anything that interests you.
Sweet. Okay. And that's my turn. Next up.
So, Lambert, let's take a look at that abomination of yours.
It's not really an... I prefer you not to call him an abomination.
Mm-hmm. So, first of all, I think as far as maintaining things, you have resources and herd at 4. So those are fairly simple to maintain.
The library just needs to fucking steal it.
Well, library also needs to be taken care of. Someone needs to make sure the books aren't getting damaged, that they are being taken care of, that, you know.
Yeah, partly
But
why I brought me to the Chantry, because
actually, yeah, there's
good at taking care of books, and might, for a chance to look through them, make sure that...
Yeah, in that case, that's probably not a big concern. You weren't here for that. Resources are gonna require 2 successes per dot to successfully maintain due to recent riots, the difficulties involved in the current situation, and other things. Everything else is easier to maintain. So,
Right. Well, it's mostly stuff back in Old Blighty and family estates, but yes.
So you will get 1 free roll for maintaining, which is going to be at like a flat 6. So for that, I think manipulation leadership might make sense to just try and maintain the herd without having to take an action on it.
Well, it's how easy it is given the level of dominate.
That effectively, this automatic roll is for things managing themselves without your involvement.
Right.
So this is effectively the herd managing itself and the ghouls handling any minor mishaps. So if you roll well enough on this, you don't need to worry about needing to replace anyone or get anyone out of problems, etc.
Or get a new person because one of them's stuck in jail. Why did you stab a dude? Didn't ask me. Difficulty 6, yes?
Yes.
I'm just checking before I do something stupid.
Okay, yeah, the herd manages. Apparently going in groups of 5 or 6 armed with silver is enough for werewolves not to bother for now.
Yay! Also, they're probably not that important, so if the werewolves want to try to just do midday attacks in the middle of town and get everything and get us police, they can fucking do that.
There's probably gonna be a few incidents throughout these couple of years. where larger and larger number of werewolves on occasion, try and grab someone from the group to interrogate, and then they just throw them back, almost contemptuously, to show that they can do what they want.
They don't know anything anyway. Fuck you.
Yeah, they eventually stop. Oh no, kid, that's one of the zombies, they don't know shit. And then you have a legit downtime
Little safety
action
whistle.
where you can effectively try and either gain more backgrounds or alternatively try and maintain them. You're gonna get a total of 12 of these. And
Which ones need any level of more maintenance?
herd is handled, library is handled, resources are gonna need a lot of maintenance, and allies is probably gonna need 1 success worth from something effectively to honestly,
Well, it was the Tremere.
yeah, it's
Stuck in a chantry.
I mean, just keeping a lookout is gonna help, but that was Alexandra specifically. The Tremere, yeah, they know you're a friend, but your lines were specifically with Alexandra. If you're willing to let that lapse, you can just,
No. Let's not piss off the. Right. So what would it be in terms of resources maintaining? Because it's mostly overseas, but can still. Actually, it's easier to do stuff in the day with people over there.
Well,
Now
given
that-
that it's overseas, you could keep it overseas, but it still would be 2 successes per, so.
Yeah, but it actually allows me to interact more with awake people.
Honestly, I hate to say this, but you're better off bringing that stuff over here, because then you can dominate people when necessary, even if you have to leave the chantry under heavy escort.
As it is, I'm not
No,
too
great.
sure how much direct action would help on your case. So
Effectively, if all you're doing is managing it over the phone, it's gonna be a tough thing to do. Not because you can't run a business that way, but because you can't protect it from other vampires that might be fucking with it to take it for themselves.
No honor amongst the English aristocracy of vampires?
wow, you have a real different impression of what's going on over there.
No, I know. I just.
This is an affront to
Let
Clan
me say
Ventru and
this.
our great grandsire Mithras that this fiend should hold holdings in England. We must stake them for the glory of the clan. Our honor is at stake.
For fuck's sake. How many fuckers need stabbing? Damn it. Leaving the chantry. Damn it. It's much easier if I could leave the chantry. Okay, if it was just overseas and by phone without. If I sent one of the ghouls, one of the ghouls is probably going to then get smashed on by werewolves on the return, so.
Effectively, you would have to spend. You wouldn't be able to use your dominate to get difficulty reductions. At the base is 15. So effectively, you would just be using your retainers for the reduction, and you would have to spend extra actions on that roll just to bring the difficulty to something that can be succeeded.
Does telling help at all?
Who?
Truth telling. Myth 1.
You would have to be in the presence of that person. I wouldn't apply through the telephone. And generally, these would just be clerks who would know anyway.
I need to kidnap people to talk to.
Okay, I will tell you, as the ST, that you can set it up in such a way locally that you aren't gonna get stabbed by the werewolves. You might get shot a few times as a fuck you, but you're not gonna get killed.
Right. Even what if I leave and come back? Because if I go to a trip back home for at least one action, that would make that and some other things slightly easier.
Hmm. If you do try to leave the city, I think the werewolves might just grab you.
Yeah. And we have a helicopter spare?
There are literally gifts that allow them to run through the sky. It wouldn't help.
So it would
Isn't
be
even mentioning them just traveling through the Umbra.
yeah. How much easier would it be with moving the stuff here then?
You'd require the same number of successes, but you'd be able to use Dominate and Mythosaria, which would reduce the difficulty by 5 to 10, and you'd be able to use your Retainers and Contacts rating to further reduce it to a 6. So you'd be rolling Manipulation Leadership probably at a 6.
Yeah, at a 6. Okay.
So it would be a lot more reasonable. You have a decent
do
amount
that
of stuff to...
Let's deal with the stuff back in Old Blighty when I can actually leave here without being stabbed by fucking werewolves. Werewolves. Hey!
Okay, what do you have for specialty on manipulation?
Was it Blathering or what was it? We got it last time.
Blathering? I think that was
Something
it.
like that.
Yeah, I don't think that would help here.
That's specialty. Yeah.
So you have a total of 3 out of the 8 you need to fully maintain your resource. So note it down somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think with the expulsion of Allied, and since Jackalor isn't here, I need to roll one of the events as well. So Demi, would you like to make a prediction? We'll get to you. Everyone's gonna roll 2 random events for the overall downtime across these 2 sessions.
So I need a new number, you mean?
You can pick one you're hoping for.
Okay, but don't say what the result is. Like, we found out 19 is for Houston. So this one's gonna be 38.
Okay.
Motherfucker! You're actually fucking kidding me! Houston, go fuck yourself!
It's not Houston this time. During the first month or 2 of downtime, Neville visits, and during a couple of months later, there's a frantic message sent out from whatever he ruled. I don't even remember. Fuck him. Memphis? No, not Memphis. Tampa, I think.
Isn't it?
It's Tampa.
Maybe.
So, a frantic message gets sent out saying that the Anarchs are in open revolt and are trying to establish a free state. Having heard about the Cameral offensive, they decided to strike first.
Free state.
Oh my god! They're getting fucked!
The surviving Devil's forces have retreated to the outskirts of the city and are begging reinforcements for counterattack. We rolled luck for him previously to see how bad the Anarch infestation was, and he rolled a 1. This makes sense.
Oh no.
Tampa has fallen, fuckers.
Well, at least Alan got his revenge.
Bacon. Neville lost his city to the Anarchs. He's trying to hold on at the outskirts, begging for reinforcements.
Well,
Guess I need to make the Baron of Tampa now.
we might be able to actually overthrow this if we got enough people to go for it.
Except that Kurt is not willing to send a lot of people away because the wolves might take advantage and try and strike.
That is true. They might try.
Because at this point there would be at least some people would have arrived in the cairn as well. Because they would have been recruiting.
I think Vivian would actually see if she could go herself.
He will allow it if you promise to keep yourself safe. Also, make sure that he knows to be grateful if he wins this. He's willing to
Good
send
to know.
a few key people, but he's not willing to commit the whole might of New Orleans to this.
Yeah, the werewolves might take that as an opportunity to attack. Probably not great.
Fucking 10! And on his earlier failures, it's fucking precious.
I hate these dice. I swear to fucking god, there's somebody playing.
Okay, off to Tampa I go to go and assist them in trying to make sure things are good.
Okay, so Demi, what your next downtime
Yeah.
action?
Yeah, I'm not going to Tampa. That's for sure. I have a list over here, even in order. I think the next thing I want to do is make some contacts, and personally, hopefully getting things like art collectors, artists, maybe some investors or whoever who's like interested in the arts.
Okay, that would be mostly what your passive contacts end up being about then. But you're gonna also have, like, major people. So what kind of major contacts are you hoping for?
That's a good question because I thought they'd go into that category. Huh. Fuck, that's a tough decision now.
Except Bacon, you only have the one alligator. For now, you haven't acquired any more yet. Effectively.
Just wait for my downtime turn.
Any recommendations for majors? That's sort of on this field in a sense.
Malkavian Primogen.
I mean, why are
Honestly,
you like that?
you can, given your current relationship, and given that she is gonna ask you for any piece of clothing that she sees on you that she likes, provided you are willing to provide something like that, you can add her as an ally.
You know what? If she's gonna be my model, why not? God fucking damn it. What again, Valda. I need to stop with Valda. I swear to God. It's unhealthy for my relationships.
Yeah, no, it scares the sane ones away.
Okay, so from maybe at least depending on how many contacts I end up getting, I think since I was going for things like investor, possibly just a really rich dude, I suppose, or whatever. That's just like willing to invest and stuff. I don't really fully know.
Okay. You want an investor for what specifically? Like someone who's willing to patronize the arts?
Oh yes, and basically help improve the French Quarter in essence.
Okay. So I think what you're looking for isn't contact so much as influence, specifically in tourism and arts.
Well, I was gonna do influence as well, but sure.
Because, yeah, you're
Let's do
effectively
influence first.
trying to get into a position where you can go, oh, I like that place, make it even better. And that's like a classic influence thing.
Sure, then let's do influence first then.
Okay. So you wish to acquire influence. Okay.
Seeing that I'm working with pretty high-end people, I feel that this might be a actual legitimate charisma etiquette. It could be anything else like manipulation as well.
Charisma etiquette.
I feel like that would be the approach, especially because I am interacting with, in essence, more high society people.
Some of them, yes. Some of them are more American capitalists who might not necessarily have... Okay, I'll allow your bullshit to apply. You did invest in it. Shit. So, charisma etiquette. Aspects presence dominate applies, as does that. So I think that would come down to a 3.
Okay. 8 dice at 3. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
That is enough to get almost 3 dots of influence.
So I'm like 2, basically, but it's actually 2.5 more like.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Except
Almost
the
like 2 2/3.
keep in mind, since this is your first downtime in the city gaining influence, you can't go above 3.
Yeah, I can't, right?
Yeah, it takes time to really entrench yourself.
Yeah. That I know that. So no, this is a good first start.
Who was your dot of contacts in the city?
Oh, my dot of contacts in the city. I don't actually think because I asked this before, but I don't think this contact is actually in this city. It was mostly the people I knew still from back yonder in Great Britain that just transferred here.
Okay. Given everything involved, I think I will allow you to use those 2 extra successes that would have gone towards the 3rd dot if you wish, for maintaining your contacts and allies instead. So you don't have to bother with separate rolls for them.
Yeah. That would be lovely.
Okay. Bacon, what about your second downtime action?
Okay. My headset was up. The plan is, I was looking at the map and Tampa is in Florida. I will just make an alligator army there. When I finish with there, I just bring back the alligators.
Okay. I'll let you try that. But all your disciplines will of course help, but I'll raise the difficulty by +3 for being in a very, very hostile to you environment, because then actually will kill you dead if they catch you.
I understand.
And if you fail or botch, God help you.
Don't worry, more willpower.
Okay, how do you go about grabbing gators?
Okay, so Dex stealth to just sneak on random gators and capture them?
Okay,
I can do
it will be with stealth in this case.
Yeah.
But
okay, makes sense.
Sure, I will allow this. You have the requisite skills, so that's okay. Okay. Auspex is negated by the penalty of being in a different city. And then we have obfuscate an animalism that reduce it by 9, which brings you to a 6. And I'll let potence count for half, because mostly this is a stealth thing. So it's
at 4.
at 4.
Okay. So 5 successes, and I have on wits. I think I have ambush on wits.
Ambush would apply. You get more gators than that, but unfortunately it turns out that the Anarchs like to kill those when you try and sick them on Anarchs.
Understandable. Only the strong one to survive.
God damn it.
Yeah, 6 successes on alligators.
Right. Yeah, no, that is 6. That's right. So that would be 2 dots of retainers, so 2 new gators. And add a dot of retainers for the one you have in the sewers. And keep in mind, actually, that one you had to bring with you to feed it. So they're all getting battle hardened.
Yeah.
3 bottlehead and alligators.
Okay, epic.
Suppose first things first, need to do a maintenance roll of some kind.
You're not gonna get a free roll for
Oh,
every
so not
one.
this time?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one you get for free, and the rest you have to pay attention because it's an extended period of time, and supernaturals fuck with you.
Alright. But I hear that there's a city in trouble. Off to save it.
Okay. So, what do you wish to do there? I think given
Particularly,
the...
I'm going to be doing a mix of what I did to take over the city initially, as well as just a lot of diplomacy to try and convince them that the Camarilla is just fine.
Yeah, most of the Camarilla
The ones that
loyalists
are
are
really-
dead, so...
The ones that are really gung-ho, it's time for subversion and civil war.
Okay. Well, I will say that given the intensity of the rebellion, and someone write down in group sheet how much total has been done in terms of raising hell and in what way, to try and unfuck a Neville's domain.
Basically. I
So-
have a lot of applicable shit to this, though.
Yeah,
so.
effectively you're gonna get 2 different actions before this is resolved one way or the other. And how much total is gathered there is gonna determine how well the city does. Then I'll also, during the week Bacon isn't here, so next week I'm gonna go through a bunch of NPC downtime actions to catch them up to wherever we end up tonight. But which
Alright.
one do you want to do first? Spying or trying to manipulate?
I have a feeling that I should already get quite a bit of information on spying from, whoever Neville has left. They probably know what happened. They're just really befuddled. So mostly it's going to be immediately on getting getting them to tear themselves apart.
Okay, so you want to actually try and subvert.
Yep.
Okay. Fair warning, if you somehow manage to fail or botch this, you're gonna be in deadly danger. Even with
I am
Dougal
aware.
there.
This is why we have willpower. Which, by the way, do I get the extra willpower points again from having my humanity at 8? Up to you.
What did we give you for having...
You gave me 2 extra for being able to stand it being in the day when needed. and do extra actions to help do things and stuff like that.
Well,
So basically 6 for the downtime, but it doesn't really matter to me. I was just asking.
so here's the thing. If you're actively trying to subvert them, you're probably going to have to do a conscience roll for this. Because that will mean inciting violence among anarchs, and they are likely to at some point kill each other. It'll just be one roll because this is downtime, but there's definitely going to be some harm there.
That's a good point.
So if it's just diplomacy to try and get the Cameron to be accepted, that's one thing. But if you're actually trying to rip their battle lines apart, it's gonna be entirely different.
I think she'll see how the diplomacy goes. She's a little wary because she came off the aftershocks of the last time the Anarchs were going, but she likes second chances, so she'll try the diplomacy, and if it doesn't work out, we'll probably end up subverting.
Okay, so
That's probably going to be the 2 actions.
for the first one, I think it's gonna be charisma leadership.
Okay.
The child and sanctity, they are. Child is gonna give you a +1 to difficulty, and sanctity is effectively. It's what makes this possible and keeps you from getting stabbed. That and Dougal standing there menacingly. But Enchanting Voice does apply the full benefit, so that's 14. Auspex is -7, so that's 7. And you have a couple of combo powers. You have Catch a Whiff of Madness, which gives you an additional -1. You have Dementation 1, which is another -1. And you have a metric fuck ton of contacts and status, so it will still go down all the way to 3. Even with things like Dominate and the more heavy-handed stuff usually not applying.
Yep, I built my character for this shit.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead and give me a charisma leadership roll. 3.
Willpower being spent.
Right.
Leadership is open. Charisma is eloquent. I have a feeling open applies.
It probably does. So,
Total is 9 successes.
okay, what do you have that needs to be maintained among other things?
I still have resources. That's going to be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that'll help at all. I did contacts, allies. I have my influence stuff, and I guess retainers. I'm not sure if they need one. But
Retainers don't, but Domain will. Because
domain will? Okay.
Yeah,
then yes, I have domain.
I will let you decide if you want to apply this purely towards unfucking Tampa, and that will in turn act as leverage. If that city is capable of sending aid to, helping with the werewolves.
I will apply it entirely to Tampa for one particular reason as well. It probably helps us look better again, too. We look damn good doing this, so yay.
Okay. So, I just want to paint this scene. Vivian is in a room with the prince and like 3 anarch leaders talking about whether this city can be Camarilla again, and down below there screams as someone is getting ripped apart by gators.
Sounds about right.
So, you could, if you keep this up, with that start, you have a total of 9 there. If you can get another 6, I will allow you to end this peacefully, But it's gonna be a Camarilla city that's gonna have a strong council and probably not Neville in charge.
Ah, well, his time came and passed. He lost the previous one.
Okay. Fair point. If you do this, you're probably effectively gonna have like a 1-point enemy in Neville. Because he will see this as a betrayal. But you will have a Tampa that's grateful to you if it succeeds. And
And I am probably increasing the success of Tampa because there's more vampires there to actually try and hold it. Go!
I mean, you're not acting directly in a military way. What you're doing is effectively, you know, making sure they don't end up killing each other. Bacon's providing more to the military leverage side.
Don't worry, I have a ghoul that has an ever-eternal flame on his sword.
Yeah,
Yes.
make sure that you
Let
write
Google
down
kill.
the progress on this. Same as Bacon's 6 successes on Gators. So, because I might need to count to make sure, to compare successes. If enough NPCs pitch in to figure out whether it ends up with Neville in charge or the Anarchs, or whether the city is split in some way or there's still internal conflicts, etc. But yeah, no, really, make sure you write it down in the group stuff somewhere, if you haven't already.
Should I bother mentioning the maintenance roles, by the way?
Write those down in
Or
your
should I
own
just-
notes so that you don't lose track, because we will stop partway through today. And I don't think everyone will have everything maintained yet. But, Lambert, your second downtime action.
Yay. I want to help people, but if I go to help them, I bring werewolves with me. Run screaming through Tampa, chased by werewolves, and see how that impacts the situation. Okay, just going to try to continue with the maintenance of resources till I finish that.
Okay, the difficulty came down to 6, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a manipulation leadership roll then.
Hey, that's 7 out of 10 now.
7 out of 8. It's stupor dots, so...
Yeah. Yeah. I just misread own sheet. Boo.
Okay. So far, so good. Bacon. 1d50.
Wait, should we? I'm gonna still the same
Yes.
number actually.
Yes, let him pick. Still the same?
Yeah, still the same.
What was it, 38?
38.
Okay. Bacon roll. 1d50.
Oof.
Feeling.
Oh! Primogen overthrown.
What?
A Primogen just got overthrown.
What the fuck?
Which one? Which one? Which one?
We don't know. He needs to roll.
Shit.
Okay.
Please not Mitchell. Please not Mitchell. Who would even overthrow him?
So,
Oh fuck, it'd be the Setite.
everyone roll 1d10. And I will roll for Jackalor.
Ooh, I think I'm safe.
In this
God damn it,
case,
Lambert.
the lowest one.
No! It's the highest one, actually. That's the clan that
Oh.
gets hit. Bacon, you
Oh.
get a
Oh,
letter
no.
from your clan that since you haven't been there for 4 months, they have decided to pick different representation.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
When he gets back, it's just gonna be, who the fuck have you picked? And it's just a neonate and just eats them.
Sergio's now in charge.
And-
Fuck you.
I just go back. I just send a letter. All right. I don't see a problem with that. And I'm getting some alligator for us. Should
Oh
be
my
back.
gosh. The Nosferatu are fucked.
Well, if you leave for 4 months, you might not be a primogen when you come back. You can't just go and play with gators and ignore your duties.
I mean, you can. You totally can. You just have to come back and kill them. With gators.
Yeah, Demi, I was tempted to say that Marta just took over, but it wouldn't be fair. Usually we roll for who gets hit. So how are you enjoying the random event so far, everyone?
Well, I was safe regardless of whether it was high or low. I was happy.
I mean, this one didn't make any sense for me. Like, I don't actually care if I'm the primogen or not.
Well,
Just
they
eat those
can
alligators. Eat them all.
roll a 1d10 for magnitude.
Oh.
Come on, one. Come on, one.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay,
They
they
didn't-
tell you, well, as long as you're not a cunt about this, you still have a place in the Warren.
It didn't affect things too badly. I mean, no, it affected them horribly, but still.
I mean, if they wanted me out, like, the clan would totally die.
I mean,
just-
dude,
Field.
your primogen is Sergio right now.
Kurt just facepalms when he hears about this, like, motherfuckers.
You technically have a vote, but nobody cares about your vote.
Yay.
Hey, Demi, your third action.
Oh shit, it's already again? Jeez, going fast. Okay, I think this one is in order, and I'm not sure how to actually word it. But I think that I put here basically of improving Elysium. Basically making it fucking like goddamn good
Okay.
and investing into it. Now I'm not sure. Now I didn't know how to word it because wasn't sure would this like count as basically like securing a domain of sorts or just Elysium itself.
It's just gonna be Elysium, it's gonna be the quality of the building. So,
Yeah, okay, good then.
Demi, I have made the Toreador note visible to you. Below the goals for individual NPCs, which we discussed,
Okay.
you can write in the fuck did I? Elfrida, yes, that was Elfrida.
Oh, the one below.
Yeah,
The last one. Okay, I'll put that.
reopen it. But yeah, just below that, you're gonna write the Elysium ratings. So at the start, its size. Well, you had 2 people of like 4 combine for it. So I would say that. Well, no, not your goal. Just we're gonna write the actual numbers there for how the progress is
okay.
going. So, okay. We had 2 people of resource 4 combined, so it could be somewhere between 12 and 15 dots of total, according to the Anarch's Haven rules. So
Right.
I think size 6,
Mm-hmm.
luxury 4, and security 2 makes sense for its current state.
Okay.
And you can then improve it beyond that and add things like security is effectively basic security measures. Sanctity would also involve more magical defenses, but they kind of overlap. You can add guardians to this place to have
Yeah.
patrols, etc., and otherwise pimp it out effectively.
Yeah, that's what I was planning that could be maybe two separate downtime actions. I'm not sure. But this one I was planning more on the luxurious side because on one point I was actually looking about trying to get guards for Elysium itself. It's basically
Okay.
guardians.
This will be manipulation finance, I would think. Because you're trying to get truly exceptional furniture and art pieces.
Okay.
This would be lowered by aspects, dominate, and presence, as well as your influence and contacts.
Okay, so that I think that goes down to difficulty 3, doesn't it?
It does. It
Okay.
should. I think that's enough to take it all the way down, yes.
I will spend a willpower for this simply because I love it.
Okay. Charisma
So
finance.
let's see.
Or manipulation finance.
Okay. Yeah, manipulation is persuasive, maybe. If I'm trying to get out the good things.
It still wouldn't be enough to take you to an improvement of 3. And given that you're taking this into truly exceptional territory, I'm gonna cap you at a total of 6 for this. So
Okay.
it's gonna take you significant amount of time to track down furniture and art that's better than this. This is fit for monarchy to visit.
I think that was the plan.
The couches have been replaced, and if they're not trying to do so much as look at them funny, there's gonna be one less clan in the city.
Like I'm getting a feeling that we've improved it to the point that just look that you have to pay to even go inside at this point.
Well, top floor? Maybe, yeah.
Okay, good then. Do I change anything on the mysterious note
Yes,
in terms of Elysium?
set the luxury to 6.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Bacon. Your third downtime action.
I'm very tempted to just say fuck to my clan and continue making alligators.
You could try and convince them to give you another chance, but that would be a downtime action of you effectively proving to them that you are not a fuck up.
No, yeah, my plan is just get more alligators, then I just go back
And kill them all,
with
repopulate the clan.
6 alligators and just say, bitch, please, shut up. I got an army now, what are you going to do?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I will do that.
So you are gonna proceed to gain more gators. It was with stealth before and it was at 4, I believe.
Yep, another willpower.
Usually getting some retainers would be easier than this, but he's also using them to fight. So there's a significant attrition to these.
Okay, so that's 10 successes.
That would take you up to a total of 6. Kurt sends back a letter on the latest report of your doings to tell you that if you bring back any more than you currently have, he's gonna shoot the excess. Epic. Your third downtime action.
Yep. Well, I'm still off in Tampa trying to help them out, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. There's certainly anarch factions which are really very willing to negotiate.
Time for the other willpower point.
Given that your city seems to have managed to somewhat succeed at reforming the Camarilla into something slightly less fucked.
Alright. Leadership. Brief. I believe I'm good! I got another 9 successes!
Okay. Then you will be able to bring peace to that city. Exactly who is in charge and to what extent, I'm gonna figure out once I figure what NPCs were involved, because actually Byron's pretty much on the streets in Zulu form, ripping fuckers apart. Actually, no, he's in the shadows, obfuscated, pulling people into dark alleys and ripping them apart. He's having a fun
Thanks,
time.
Byron, for coming with me.
Epic. Since we decided that Byron is coming with, how close an eye do you keep on him?
A fairly decently close eye, just to make sure he's not doing anything that would end up, making things a lot worse in general. But if he's fucking with people that are trying to attack us or stuff like that, that's fine.
Okay. Give me a
I
luck
do
roll.
try to keep a decent eye, though.
Actually, give me an unlikely luck roll. Because this is
Alright.
Byron. You get the distinct
Unlikely luck
impression
4.
that one of the most troublesome anarch leaders accidentally, with one of his friends, just might have gotten eaten with no witnesses present.
Unfortunate for Byron, I know shit.
I mean, Demi, you know how this goes. Byron goes to help a city. He eats someone.
No, he's supposed to be reforming. I'm supposed to have a decent chance at this, not unlikely luck chance.
Might have been Harvey that done it.
I mean, that's what I was watching him for, to make sure Harvey didn't come out.
Well, all it takes is someone screaming at him that he's a fucking monster when they see Zulu form. And he loses Zulu form and turns to Harvey.
So he's dead, is what I'm hearing.
Okay, let's see. Would he be able to... I think this might be best resolved with a willpower roll of... That one is for Byron, and the other one's gonna be for Harvey. To figure out which of them wins out when the opportunity presents itself. Okay. I mean, it's still blood everywhere and ashes everywhere. It looks like Byron's work, and you will still have every reason to be suspicious. And I think he still has a black aura from his last trip to Houston.
Byron is definitely going to end up just a horrible person. But my Auspex doesn't end up revealing that it was him?
Well, it's unclear. The last moments you pick up from the ashes is Byron ripping into them, and alternatively just slamming them with bone spikes, biting into them and drinking their blood before they fall into torpor.
In that case, I think I'll bring it up with Kurt, and we'll actually just see about interrogating him real quick. Just make sure he didn't go committing more diableries. And if he did, that means he's not rehabilitating. He's not taking to it.
Okay.
But if he's actually didn't eat them, he's doing good. Make sense?
I think Even that he was fighting his alternate personality, he doesn't know if he did. He tried not to, that's all he remembers.
That makes it tougher.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make this easy on you.
Well, without a verified thing, Vivian wouldn't be doing anything, but it will still be brought to Kurt to check on, the whole situation real quick.
Mm-hmm. Kurt is effectively gonna tell Volda that Byron is coming home. Watch Byron. If there's another situation where he can't remember if he ate someone, where it literally no one can tell, Kurt is gonna blood hunt him. Or better yet, just kill him as a serial fucking Diablerist.
Either way. That's not good, Byron. You need to get better.
But, the power!
The power don't matter if you're dead.
Hello?
So,
Sup?
Lambert, your third action.
Yay! Time to finish off with the resources.
Hmm.
Woo. Hey, it wasn't horrible botch. I'm now at 10 out of 7.
You are
Work
10
like that.
out of 8.
10 out of 8. Shush. Shush. Counting.
Ow.
Okay. Lambert, keep in mind, you have your full set of willpower for the downtime, and you can boost these actions with willpower.
Yep, and get 4 back afterwards.
You'll get your full willpower back after downtime's over. So,
Well, oh fuck then. The rest of the rest of the actions are getting willpower spent on them.
I will let you retroactively spend 1 willpower each on your finance rolls, because you didn't realize.
Right. How much do they need? Does it need to be to increase, or
You will not
What-
be able to go higher than a total of 5. But I would say that if you got 3 over the maintenance, that would be enough, because there's plenty of businesses that are selling relatively easily right now.
okay? So I'll have spent 1 willpower, and then I'll be 11 out of 8, which is 3 over. So it'll be
Yeah, you'll be able to have resource 5.
yep, and I can choose for the rest of things. Okay, cool.
Okay. So,
Boring, but not setting a city on fire.
Epic. I think we have enough time, because we're making good pace, to make 1 more circle. And then we should make sure to write everything down, because Jackalor ain't here, and he's gonna need to catch up 2 weeks from now. And I would like to catch up to NPCs given the random event that happened. So, 1d50.
Was that?
Can we just?
Wait.
Can we just?
I'm
negate
Houston
this one?
calls
It's
for
coming up
aid.
Too much.
No, you fucking don't!
The Zapata are attacking!
Oh, good.
I summoned the sacred number. I'm sorry.
Wait.
Of course you did.
Wait. Is that where the Lord is? The Lord's Chantry?
No, that's where the fledgling game is taking place in the future. And why the prince is such a sour bitch?
Mother!
There are 3 walls that have been sighted! Help!
You know what? It's gotten to that point where Houston, you have a problem.
This is the attack in which Linda's sister dies. That
Sad music.
That actually hurts my heart now a bit.
And many of the male Sombra.
That
I mean,
explains
Jesus, if it's gonna take 2 rolls every time we get this 19, fuck.
It isn't, mostly because Neville was doing crap on the Anarchs before he got this event. He was barely holding on. And then it exploded massively.
Okay.
Besides, the Sabbat roll in and they burn out more quickly than Anarchs. Anarchs, I do think, have a bit more staying power as well, just naturally. Sabbat are more
Well, they don't try and
self-destructive.
just fuck everything over all at once. Generally.
Mm-hmm. So, Demi, your fourth downtime action, now that Houston calls for aid.
I'm not half done. I'm not going to fucking Houston. Especially when rumors comes, hey, vase. Ah, yes, let me just hobble my way away from the fucking vase, will I?
You could
Okay.
help in other ways
Why
by
you fucking
sending, for example, cash.
No, my cash goes to Elysium. Houston, fuck Houston, man.
And you wonder why the prince hates the rest of the Camarilla.
We help. If they can't defend themselves every fucking time they're in trouble, you're the problem. Okay, for my next one, I think I'm gonna rest off, like, sort of like let the cash inflow commit. And I'm going to see about perhaps, I'm not sure if this would be together, but seeing about basically increasing status or clan status, really. Just making myself look better
Okay.
in the city.
For increasing status, that is probably gonna be a matter of you handling your duties as Keeper of Elysium. For clan status, it's probably gonna be art, so performance.
Okay, yeah, I'll do clan status then, because I do have to actually build that up then.
Okay. So here it's Auspex and Celerity would help. Auspex would help fully, Celerity partially, so that would reduce it by 6 to a 9, and you have a performance aptitude, so it would take it to a 7. Do you have anything else that would help?
Wait a second, isn't Auspex and Celerity, that would be 7 actually. Auspex 5, Celerity 2.
Celerity helps partially, I would say, because being able to perform faster doesn't always translate into...
Okay. 7. The only thing I can really think about that could help me increase further status is, because I'm not sure what we're all putting into it, but just my raw fucking etiquette. Because if I'm, just talking with Tortures as well, I presume it's not just fully artsy stuff. That's the thing.
It's talking with your... That's more an expectation. But Toreador pecking order is largely... Like, you are more of an artist than a poser. So generally you would be expected to prove it by actually performing art.
Then I have one thing that might help, and it's my previous action of improving our Elysium to fuckton 6. Would they respect that more?
I will give you a -1 from the exceptional. Actually, I'll give you -2 for the perfect fucking violin, because that was like 7 successes on it or something.
Okie dokie then. So what's the role going to be? Charisma performance at 5?
At 5, yeah.
Okie dokie.
Camilla is gonna show up when she hears that you're making performances.
Let me I'm not sure, like, I'm trying to spend this willpower, so I'm but I'm seeing what needs to be. No, this is a thing that I would spend willpower on. I need to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so difficulty 5 then. 9 dice. I have graceful, so I think that would be up to 5 successes.
It would, so you get another dot of clan status. And you are 2 towards a 3rd.
Okay.
Okay. Bacon, your 4th action.
It's time to... I did enough on this city, I can't get more gators, so I'll just go back and retake my clan.
Okay, how do you wish to do that?
Fighting Zulus.
Just intimidate them into obeying?
For that, I think I would need to roll intimidation, and I don't have any intimidation.
I would let you roll strength intimidation.
No, I don't have any intimidation. You don't
It
get
would still
it.
be more dice.
Oh, yeah. Instead of 0, it's 2 now. Makes sense.
Your potence adds to this. It wouldn't be 4 for manipulation, it would be 6 for strength plus potence.
Okay, so... yeah, it can work, considering that the retainers probably apply.
Retainers apply fully, so that brings it to a 9. Clan status applies fully. Status applies partially, so that would take it to a 6. And given that you have a lot of disciplines, I'm gonna call it like a 4. You need 3 to take over, but more than that would be good to solidify your position and make sure they don't try this again.
Okay, 1 more willpower. Last one. 4. No? Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would just kill them then.
Okay.
Bacon, do you wish to slaughter most of your clan? Frederick isn't there, and... well, actually, I need to check. Frederick is probably hanging out with Toreador, so he's a traitor too. Do you wish to hunt them down and kill all of them?
I think no, my convictions is being nice with the clan.
Bacon, how are you drained of willpower? You should have started downtime with a full set.
Oh, should I? Okay,
Yeah.
I started with
Yes.
only 4.
So yeah, you should have plenty left. Well,
So all are against me? Or with my partial success I can get some of them?
How many
they're
does he
they're
kill
kind
one?
of they like you and you're a good kid, but you abandon them, so it's not enough to establish control with this. You could try again with the next action and re-establish control, and any extra at that point I would allow to try and go towards increasing clan status.
Yeah, let's
But
not kill them. Okay. Yeah, I will try again later.
okay, so Epic, after having established peace, well, actually, I think you get the news that Houston has had several wars sighted and the city is burning.
I'm the only one going around helping people, aren't I?
There would be
I'm
several
stuck in
NPCs
the
coming with
country
you,
on pain of death.
but Kurt commanded Byron to not go to Houston, or he better not come back.
Well,
And
they're fucked if I don't go.
They'll,
Take the well wishes of
honestly,
me.
probably a
Stop.
few people are gonna help them from the city anyway, and they're probably not gonna outright fall because they have learned the lessons from previous 2 attacks, but it might take them a while of guerrilla fighting to retake the city and re-establish control. So they might not be in a position to help you when it's the werewolf's turn to attack you.
The issue is, I really need to get some maintenance going on. I've already used 2 downtime actions helping somebody.
You You're not obliged to do so. You can just trust the NPCs to do it. They might be enough to turn the tide. But it's gonna then come down to NPC downtime actions.
Uh,
Does somewhat help, but hey, help if you can bring back somebody who's knowledgeable in abyss mysticism tied up. Totally will
Okay.
help you do stuff.
I'm
here.
going to decide to instead
Knowledge
see
either.
about making sure that I can get my resources in check.
Okay.
Probably gonna take 2 downtime actions. Also, did anything come from getting 9 successes from, well, total 18 successes off the other thing?
Effectively, if you're devoting both to just improving the state in what was it, Tampa? Once I know what the NPCs did to contribute there, I'll let you know what the final state is. But with the amount of work you put in there, you're gonna probably have a decent in with not just the people in charge, but with the factions that make up the city.
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
So
We've helped Houston a whole bunch before. I really need to work on the other things.
yeah, and they'll probably send help to you anyway, even if no one goes this time. Because by this point, news has spread that you're having your own troubles. It's more a question of how well they'll be able to resolve things on their own, and with the help of the cities that aren't having resources drawn off for the crusade against the Anarchs that's going on at the same time. Actually, it's probably why the Sabbat struck now.
I mean,
Probably is. Huh. Well, I really need to get other things going. So, let's see. I have to do domain and resources.
Given that these
Maybe also
are deeply connected for you, I will allow these to count under the same role. So if you get extra successes, you can just start applying them towards domain.
Okay. So, putting my downtime action into this, most likely it's going to be some kind of charisma. Could be subterfuge, could be expression or leadership.
I think
think it's etiquette.
manipulation leadership. I think since these are mortals, enchanting voice is gonna be effectively negated by the child thing. But other than that, all of your abilities are gonna apply fully.
I got a lot of those. Well, in that case, gonna spend willpower point. Hopefully, I'll get more from being able to interact during daytime, but we'll discuss that later, I suppose, or just find out whatever you decide on.
It's gonna give you effectively some difficulty debuffs, but I'm probably not gonna give you an extra action over it. But
well,
yeah,
let's see.
This should be at the 3.
Well, what do you know? I am persuasive. I am also open, generally. Both could be applicable.
Persuasive would apply. This would count for 11 successes, so you are essentially 1 success away from fully maintaining your resources, given that these are troubled times.
So I'll need 1 more downtime action, and that will probably be enough.
Sybil, in the meantime, is probably getting fame and putting success towards calming the race tensions as much as possible.
I'm so glad Jyhad is dead for that.
Yeah, no. Kurt's proudest moment as he brushes his elders just off his face.
Truly, they were working so well together till...
So, Lambert, do you wish to try and lure the werewolves towards a Vost?
That sounds amazingly great way to finish the thing with Gregory dying horribly.
It might work, but I don't think you'll be a character anymore.
don't want to kidnap. Damn it. Tasty, disciplined people who might have knowledge, but there's safe knowledge in the library.
Well, if you wish to search for an opportunity to eat someone, rather than just do
Not
damage to
eating.
the Sabbath attack, given the opportunity of the random event,
Not fucking
I
eating.
will reduce the base difficulty by 3 to track down someone appropriate that might be worth it.
I want to torture them for information, not eat them. Much more humane.
How about this? There is a significant La Sombre contingent in Houston. If you go out there with the goal of earning a sufficient boon off of them, that might give you access to Abyss Mysticism basics.
Yeah, this is probably going to just get... Would the werewolves kill him if he definitely says he's coming back as well? I don't know. What are the things I need to maintain at the moment? Allies needs to be maintained. Anything else?
Did you maintain your contact?
No, I haven't. I need to sort of... depends how much... Fucking contact being another case here.
You're still gonna need one success for maintaining it, but this effectively allies and contacts, you can probably try and think of some way to maintain them with the same role. So
Yeah, switching contacts more to Premier people because cases don't. It's a long distance talking and continue to having a friendly relationship, but not quite as. Oh well. Yeah, if Houston's calling and the Tremere have a way they think that I can get over there without being just murdered by werewolves 2 meters outside the city.
okay.
Is there a chantry in Houston?
Give me a luck roll to see if the chantry is still... The foundations of the chantry still stand, but they were able to force a sizable enough contingent through the wards, and it was the first place hit. Which is why this attack is so bad. It's hard to bring reinforcements in safely.
Well, okay then. Need to persuade Jack to kind of, look, you can get another chantry that might not be werewolf, just in case. Backup chantry.
It's kind of like under a different lord, and that lord asks Jackalor's lord if this dude can be trusted. She just goes, fuck no, what did he ask for? And then it all implodes.
Do not say he's involved with anything else.
I mean, that's pretty much it. So, what do you wish to do?
What do people think? What does Gregory think his chances of actually being able to get out and get back into the city are, given that going overseas was probably a no-go?
Well, effectively, the werewolves have let you know by shooting you at various times what their limits are. So, as long as you're sitting there where you've put yourself, they don't seem to mind quite that much. But the one time you were heading towards the outskirts, there was a lot of howls around you for some reason, until you turned back.
Can I just write on a fucking just write on a giant? Can I write the chant you write on the walls outside? I'm coming back, you fucks. I just need to go on the grocery run. I'll be back within 3 months, and you can hunt me down anyway.
Okay.
Or I could just chalk it onto a wall and say, could you please put this as an outside wall? You've just written something on the wall. Yes, and I now need it as an outside wall. yeah, we'll attempt, but if they seem to still just start being really get
You
back
know,
inside,
it's
then go back in.
it's kind of ends up being an interesting situation because there's a police stop on the way out of town, like a few
Pause.
20 or 30 miles down the road. But the wolves didn't howl at you. Instead, when you are stopped at it, it turns out that the people in police uniforms weren't actually police officers. And one of them gives you a good, solid scratch, like the kind that reaches under your ribcage. And just casually
Hello,
tells you
fucking-
while lifting you off the ground. Thanks for informing us. Come back soon.
Jesus Christ, you fucking mental.
And they allow you to go, but you do have an unpleasant time healing a bit of aggravated damage. And
Well, thank you, you fucks. Remember which one is. Remember to specifically ask Jackaloff for that one's corpse. But
But yes, you are able to make it to Houston.
yay! Now time to try to help murder things.
Okay. Dominate is gonna apply for helping do things. Obtain abrasion authority as well. As is your retainers. So this will be reduced
They
to
don't die.
a 4, I think.
Okay, and what would it be in terms of a roll?
Actually,
Because
let
my-
me count
my
it
combat-
out. Yeah, I don't think that Dominate 4 would necessarily apply, but
Not enough time to actually create.
yeah, we'll
Actual-
call it a 4. I will allow this to be Manipulation Occult.
Yay, combat thing. So 4 manipulation occult, and I will use a willpower for it because surviving is good. Just in case I roll, just try to completely botch this.
Okay.
Now watch as I finish the bot. Ah, no.
So
So I
that,
don't think being
that is a
Yeah.
total of 8. Do you have a specialty on... Actually, Bladder would apply here.
whoa.
Because you can just distract Sabat like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
What do you mean? I mean you are now being eaten by tentacles. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, with a total of 9 successes. And with you focusing on La Sombra Holdings,
Yep.
I will effectively...
It's the somber anti.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
give you 1 point of status. Because I had 6 successes in mind for earning access to the basics of Abyss Mysticism. Because that is a pretty significant boon.
Right. So 9 is 1. Is it? Does that mean I maintain my current 1 status, or I get 1 status?
You get 1 status, so you're at 2.
Okay.
You're a war hero.
Yay!
Even if you were mostly selfish about it, you still did really good. I
Okay,
think
put that in.
I'm just imagining a moment where he just walks up to the Zimitzi leading the boss towards a target and starts blathering while people with anti-tank guns sneak up on the rooftops.
I do say good day to you. Oh well, just need to make sure don't get murdered.
Yeah, now you might be on Sabat hit list. Don't go to Mexico.
I mean, I didn't want to go to Mexico anyway, for many reasons.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, that was the 4th circle. Do we want to roll the random event for the 5th one before we quit
Yep.
today?
Yes, it's a holy night. The dice
want-
have
we-
spoken.
We want to learn the fact that once the Sabbat are now attacking fucking
Okay.
Tampa.
Lambert. 1d50. Demi. Do you have a
Fine.
prediction?
I'm
Holy
staying on
roll.
the same number. But,
Okay.
Oof.
So, Demi.
Oh, it hit me?
Actually, let's roll randomly. And I will roll for Jackalor. Highest is hits you.
Oof. No! Damn it!
Yay, two.
So Demi, one night in Elysium. It's a weird night. You probably have like a woodland theme. You realize you don't know a lot of these people, and are those real birds? No, they're kind of transparent. And you realize that that person has pointy ears right there. You're visited by fairies.
Again?
They adopt one half of one floor, and there's 24/7 elven guards on duty there for several months as they party in your Elysium.
Well, fucking day then. They,
Oh. So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What do the other tours think about this?
I think I need to think on their reaction, because I think they're having a cow at first glance.
Because if they're acting nice, and some actually might accept them, I think like it's open doors.
don't-
Like if we
I
could
think
have
they're-
werewolves inside.
I think they're
I'm
very
not sure
friendly.
that matches with your stuff.
They're very friendly, but when Justin tries to confront one, he is effectively thrown across the room and slammed into a wall by blast of power. So if you don't fuck with them, they're kind of nice, but they go where they please. And they disrupt activities.
Right. Did the prince have any saying on what to do if possible changelings arrive?
I
What's
think
the standard procedure?
I think the prince spends
Ask
that
Jack,
downtime
ask Jack.
action trying to talk his way into the closed room to discuss an alliance against werewolves.
Yeah, no, Elysium's open.
This is fine. This is all good.
And
I
yeah,
just
no,
need a way of getting.
party on. I could see this fucking coming from a goddamn fucking mile, but yeah, no, go. Party on, baby.
Okay. Write
Wait,
that
if I
down
roll-
and shit to remember that the fifth event is Changeling's visit. Demi, roll for severity. Actually, no, Lambert, roll for severity.
Oh right.
Ooh yeah.
1d10.
Uh,
Okay, so they're not very disruptive.
bad.
They're kind of quiet. So that's good. They just occupy that
that's-
floor. They don't try to mindfuck people to teach them the glories of the dreaming and unshackle their potential.
I mean, I'm not sure if this would be a downtime action. It might be, but since I already kind of did play a lot of music, I think that would just go into as well. Like they're free to open it as long as they're not disruptive, which they seem to not be. It's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we could have werewolves in this Elysium,
no.
like
Demi, this
we
is-
had werewolves in the Elysium.
Yes, I know. It happened to me.
It happened before that multiple times.
Oh, for fuck. Yes, I know. It's just fucking Jesus Christ.
Well, this is, Demi, this is less than 25. It's one of the bad events, so rolling a 1 on severity is very, very good. They're just gonna fuck with some people's heads. It's not gonna be too bad.
Okay, good.
They're not gonna start a freehold in your Elysium for one thing.
Oh, that would be fun.
I'm sorry, there's a guest list, sir. Who are you? Yeah, Benjamin. I don't see you on here. Please leave.
I just imagine how retarded it would be if that event happened with me.
Hey,
The
sewers.
sewers.
It would be fucking great.
I mean, if it happened to Jack or me staying in Elysium, staying in the Chantry, it's kind of like the Chantry's infested with Fae. How did they get in here? What the fuck?
Oh, you don't know about the back entrance?
The power source is spewing Fae.
You just hear a knock on the floor. Door appears, pushes open.
This is you've paved over the staircase.
So, where's my doggo buddies? Been a while, huh? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? Why the fuck is here?
Yeah. So, I think we're gonna wrap here for the evening. And let's go around the circle and ask about lessons learned. So, Demi, what has Benjamin learned?
That's actually kind of hard question now because it's a very long time that's passed. It's not like a single event or something. But I'm gonna need some time if anybody else has.
Okay, Bacon,
It's mysticism.
what has Olvasei learned?
Sometimes you need to be with your clan because they aren't as smart as you, so they make stupid decisions when you are not close to them.
Just casually gets overthrown while he's not there. Vivian.
Vivian has learned that apparently, very saddeningly, people seem to be unable to hold their cities.
It's a tough time for the
It's an issue
Camarilla.
here, it's an issue there, it's an issue there.
Even in the metaplot, during this time period, the Camarilla was getting steadily rolled northwards.
Which is funny, I don't remember the Sabbat being the issue. I thought the Anarchs were the big thing right now.
They are on the west coast. But Sabbat were taking things in the east coast. It was going slowly, like a major city or two might fall every 3 or 4 years. But we're right about on schedule. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. Things like this happen as times change. And, Gregory.
Does starting to be able to be taught about mysticism count as something he's learned? I presume it does not.
It doesn't.
He's already learned fuck werewolves. Really fuck werewolves. Completely, I mean, fuck those fuckers. Fuckers. He's learned what a chantry burnt to the ground and destroyed looks like, just for future reference in case the werewolf thing goes badly.
Okay. Fuck the werewolves.
Maybe it turns out that you can talk to a Smishi long enough that you forget they're controlling the Zoid and it just eats them.
It was mostly a matter of getting them to stand still while people got in position to nuke it with heavy firepower.
Fair enough. Hey, they can be killed. They're truly not close to the perfect being. Because I killed them. And come on, I killed them by talking and explosives. The perfect being should not be killed by explosives.
Okay. Demi, Benjamin.
Yeah, I think that the best solution throughout the entire downtime is that once you actually remove the thing stopping the gears and you oil it up a bit, everything's going pretty nice.
And you get elves.
Oh.
Well,
actually, Demi, give me one last luck roll. Higher is more likely.
For the Emperor.
Okay. The changelings tried to seduce Sybil instead of you.
No! Sybil's heart is a destiny point, remember?
I can see that happening, indeed. On both cases.
They start effectively... It's actually... You're used to that kind of courting. It's what your class did when you were a kid.
Ooh.
That's how they go about seducing her.
Really? Isn't he a British prep school? But that's not what they do. That is so far from what they do age.
Raise your hand if you're a 1700 kid.
I mean, do you expect some of the schools to have actually changed since then?
I mean, I don't think he actually went to school. My point is, effectively, they do it as they would at court.
Damn.
Dun.
And how successful are they? Should I roll severity?
Severity 10. She's. We're going to end up
You
with.
know what? Go ahead and
by
roll
accident.
how well they do on getting Sybil to give in.
I mean,
Sybil gets access to the closed part of the third floor.
Oof.
come on. You need to create a new Casiad, Sybil. This must be the Casiad.
I mean,
3 of them.
just a quick question: if she visits, does Vivi get access to the third floor?
These are Sealy guys. They do not recognize themselves as being particularly impressed by your alliance. The fact that you managed to walk on the silver path without being burned, that's worth a few points. Given especially how old you are.
I am an old motherfucker. Yes. Nice to meet you.
But I will actually, before we finish, look up the description of the house that I think would be the one to actually be visiting, given how I've described them so far.
I don't know changelings.
I'll copy out the description.
Am I in danger? Are we in danger?
You might be. The Sealy are nicer, generally. Not
I mean,
especially
technically, I mean,
nice.
I have a bird that's a Sealy.
Okay. Actually, this is the start of the description. Let's copy it twice. So yeah, they're the hedonist house. The crazy of crazy fucks that might hear about vampires that are complete fuck-ups and go to party in Elysium.
Oh, right. Totally one of them might actually.
Were Fiona's the one that like can't botch etiquette or whatever?
I don't think so, no. Boone.
Yeah, that's not them.
Those swearing fealty to House Fiona are truly courageous and fear holds no power over them. Yeah, that's the kind of fuck up it takes to go party at Elysium, even when you're a party of like 40.
So what are the Fiona supposed to be, essentially?
They're like the Toreador of the Sealy court.
It might actually be
They're like the
somewhat
Toreador
accurate to
of-
say they are Toreador that are Bruja.
I was mostly talking in like mythological sense. Like, are they elves? Are they half elves?
It's houses.
Yeah, this is House Allegiance. There are many different kinds of breeds there. But there's definitely a...
this is just house. Okay. I don't know changelings, fans.
Yeah, effectively, you would have seen like 6 or 7 elves there, and the rest are other creatures. But there's several kinds that have various amounts of pointed ears. And, you know, mostly it's something that you can detect with auspex. Other times they look human-ish. It's weird.
Question. Since a previous event made the previous Elysium in the Tower a bit more worm corrupted, does this make it more worm corrupted too?
This? For the actual Elysium in the French Quarter? No. It wouldn't.
Oof. Yes. Yay.
I mean, they will probably try what it feels like to do blood drinking. But they're gonna be careful about it, and they're not gonna have anyone get turned.
Ah, the Caseate must spread.
Yeah, no, they're... If one of them gets embraced, they will slaughter the Elysium. Please don't do it.
I'm not doing it.
The Unleashed
I think
Dragon's Ire.
Vivian's going to surprisingly like them for a long time, but is also going to be somewhat, they keep pushing so hard on everything.
Yeah, they probably do. They... You know how elves can be detached? It's probably like a couple of people who are, Seelie nobility, and everyone kind of follows their lead, and it's kind of a, okay, we're doing this. No, you don't get to fuck with us. And they, not so much that they push as that they're really unbending on getting what they want. Most of the time they keep to themselves, but if you try to actually get them to leave, that's when they turn hostile. But there it is. Hopefully everything's okay with Jackalor, and we can continue this 2 weeks from now, right, Bacon?
Yep. Next
Okay.
week I have more tests.
Okay then.
Okay.
Well,
Nope.
everyone, say bye.
Okay, fine.
Bye.
See
One
ya
person
at
died. One.